Hey everyone, Angelo here, Hollywood filmmaker, greatest screenwriter in the history of the world, coffee maker, dishwasher, and recovering hobo, making breakfast here in Hollywood at 5:10 or so in the morning. Let's get those breakfast ingredients out. Protein powder, steel pillars. I got some bananas the other day. Let's see if I can find those. Not quite. Not quite right. We got two people here. Click like everyone. Show you're motivated and hungry as I am. Passionate, brimming with passion. I am sleeping well because I'm not getting up throughout the night to go to the bathroom. That is such a nice thing, nice break. I have really weird, scary, intense dreams. It's like I'm always being chased by someone or in trouble or it's like I committed a crime before the dream started, and then once the dream started, it's like, well, I couldn't control it. It already happened, and I'm being chased and hunted. And I've had those kind of dreams since I was a kid. Let's see what else do I need here. Pretty much everything for breakfast. I get so confused by my own breakfast ingredients because I keep changing them up. Like some days I'll have fruits, and some days I'll have just the oatmeal. I'm gonna have coffee. I'm gonna make my apple cider vinegar. I talked to my mom yesterday. She does want to come to LA. Good, just checking. Now she's saying, well, she'll come this summer. She's been constantly saying, she'll arrive here, and it's expensive. So she doesn't want me to pay for it. I mean, unless I get filthy rich. So screenwriting, I really think this is the year I can make $100,000 between film editing, coloring, YouTube, screenwriting. This will be the year that I do it. This is where I'm finally launching. This lemon is so falling apart, I'll just eat it right here. Some lemon juice, for my meal. And she does want to come. She loves the pictures here. She loves hearing my stories, what I'm doing here. She knows there's not much exciting stuff happening in Virginia, especially that she can get access to. Ivy Hill, you remember me from the Angry Grandpa videos? I still think about those a lot. I was literally thinking about them a day or two ago, and how I miss them. But Angry Grandpa, he was he was foundational of YouTube for me. He was the most stunning, just from another dimension. His ferocity and power, and thoughtfulness, and all the different sides to him, and the insight into his life. I guess I was aware on some level, but not really that people lived in such desperate poverty. I mean, obviously I was aware of it, but to see it, and then even to see his trailer in person, and to realize oh yeah, they're popular on YouTube, but it's he's still the desperation and sadness of living in a trailer park, and yet he was making the most of it. He was enjoying his life, and being angry at his life too, and everything. So it was just such a privilege to be able to see into his life. I'll never ever forget that. And I'm so glad to see Pickle Boy, Bridget, and their families still making videos. I still watch them. I'm so glad for that. That would be the most regrettable thing to me is if they stopped making videos. I would never like live that down. Like, oh, my favorite YouTube creator in the world is, between Angry Grandpa and Pickle Boy, um, his mom and Bridget, and now, there are more of their families in the videos. Pickle Boy's sister, Jenny. I would never live it down if they stopped making videos, and it's like I lost that connection to them out there. But I would also treasure it and remember it fondly, and it's important to celebrate the people we have in our lives now, and grateful they're around. And I just want them to do better and better in all ways for whatever they want, and thank goodness. Like I said, just thank goodness they're around. Anyway, so here's the deal with my mom. First of all, these morning live streams are getting to be kind of something now, right? Like eventually I'm just going to have millions of people watching my breakfast, and I'm going to be living in some luxury apartment. I will be living in one, even though they're owned by these, dirtbag corporations that overcharge and they do all kinds of shady stuff, I'm sure. Lobby for bills to, do sweeps against homeless people and put them all in jail and stuff. I'm sure they do all that stuff too. And get lower income people out of the neighborhood and all that. That is not cool. But that's all right. When I'm rich, I'm going to be a class trader, and I'm going to support the causes. They get low income people, well, to live like however they want. High income people, and for everyone to have homes. So, haha, joke's on them. But my mom does want to come here. I asked her. She sees my level of discipline and how I'm following through on stuff and accomplishing a lot. And I think that's rubbing off on her to where she wants to accomplish more and do more in a way, because she's always kind of negative about things that she thinks are unrealistic. They won't happen. I'm like, no, this absolutely will happen. So now she's saying maybe this summer, maybe July or August, she'll visit. But I'm like, you have to get specific. Don't just guess to me when you're going to come. Get specific. And how you're going to do it, how's the plan going to go. Now we'll see. Again, like that's a tricky thing. But she said she was thinking about visiting Greece this summer, but she can't afford that. So she said she wants to go somewhere, so she'll come to LA. Now, how long she's been saying stuff like that, years, and it never, always stuff happened. It was either, I was homeless and it was not realistic, or the pandemic happened and then that made travel really unrealistic, or like last winter, well, she just couldn't afford it, and it wouldn't have been good anyways because then I got COVID. Last winter, a few weeks ago, December. Thank goodness, had my physical, clean bill of health. They just said I was low in vitamin D. I'm like, all right, I'll take more vitamin D. My white blood cell count was low, so it's like, well, for one thing, I was very stressed when I got the physical. That could influence it, but all right, I'm going to try and experiment with my diet a little bit, see what gets it. My white blood cell count up. Sleep more. That's a big thing now that I'm not getting up to urinate all the time because I worked out some of that stuff. And get more sun, and also just try and live a better life, be open and active. I'm trying to save a lot of money, but it also means I'm more socially isolated, and I know I'm letting that part of my brain, it's like, especially as you get older, you need social interaction and stuff to stay healthy and engaged and keep your mind sharp. It's like, oh, I haven't had as much of that lately. I'm trying to save money, but there's other ways to do it. I can go to free events. I can go to the library. I will be going out more this month. There are several events I'm going to go to. I'm really excited for. And we need people to be COVID safe, myself included. Wear masks, distance, wash our hands. Let's see, who do we got here? Ivy Hill. How do I met them? Basically, I just started talking to them through YouTube and emailing Pickle Boy, and we just went from there. You miss mom's cooking, Angel's mom's cooking videos. I hope once you rise in LA, we need a brand new video of her cooking soon. I agree. Trizzle TV, great to hear. Absolutely. So when she's here in LA, who knows where I'll be living, if I'm living in this apartment, or if I'll have my own place where she could cook at, or maybe she'll be able to get a hotel with a kitchen. We do want to cook when she's here. We've talked about like, well, possibly getting her a hotel with a kitchen. Gotta get my 44 grams of protein powder. She's also losing weight too. I told her, weigh yourself every day. I know they say not to do, look, there's all kinds of conflicting health advice. For me, weighing myself every day is just a simple, reliable guide that I'm eating right. Because no matter what the Mike O'Hearn meal app says and exercise, regimen, if it's not making me lose weight, well, then it needs to be adjusted. And so now I've got my food scale. I know how much food to put in me every day. That sounds weird. And now I'm pretty much at my goal weight. I'm gaining a little bit, but mostly water weight. Over the weekend, I had too many pastries and peanut brittle. Man, that peanut brittle was so good, though. Damn, that peanut brittle was delicious. But after like eating super healthy for like a month, and I was just like craving sweets. It's like, all right, back on the wagon. I ate right yesterday. Did not cheat. Weighed 143.6 pounds this morning. I know some of that's water weight. Especially after you eat like cheat meal. I know I'm like, my face is puffy and retaining more water regardless. So that'll go back down, but I really want to get like totally cut the way I want, like, cuts meaning you see my ribs, abs, everything. You see them, but it could be tighter. And then bulk up from there, like reverse diet with more muscle, like add protein, add carbohydrates, fats, all that. Hey, Dara. But yeah, definitely want her to get here and do it. And I don't want to think realistically. I want to think unrealistically. How can I make a ton of money and make it possible for her to come here and just have either a hotel with a kitchen or if I have an apartment that somehow she could stay in, and, she could at least cook in. If I have my own apartment, she could cook here. But having roommates, if they're coming in and out, it could be a little bit uncomfortable if like they're around, we have to stop for them, whatever. So we'll see about that. But yeah, just trying to keep my health up. Thank goodness I got that clean bill of health with the physical after I had COVID, and now I got to keep it up. So just now I'm like 4 weeks out basically since I first had symptoms, and the respiratory symptoms went away in like 2.5 days. It was the brain fog and weird stuff, dizziness that kept up for like another week and a half, and still had slight bits of that the other day, and I'm like, whoa, okay, just keep going. It's kind of weird. And it's getting better. Getting to this morning, did my exercise regimen basically all out. I didn't quite go all out. I'm going to ride my bike to work again today. I don't know if I will tomorrow. It's going to be raining. I think like it's raining lightly now, but I'll ride my bike in that. Tomorrow, I don't know if it's going to rain heavier. I may want to take the bus. But I'm like back to my sort of normal routine. Riding a lot yesterday. I spent all day either writing. I was retyping out the script from Michael Mann's Heat. I've read the script before, and I've seen the movie. So I was retyping that out just to learn it. And Michael Mann's so deep. Like, he goes so deep and specific about his characters and the worlds that he writes about. Then I saw movie, and I did a little more writing. I saw The Forgotten Battle, a Dutch film about basically about the Dutch resistance in World War II, but it's 3 storylines converging into one. It's kind of strange. I saw another Dutch World War II film that does that as well, The Bombardment. I'm like, are these the same filmmakers? This is kind of similar. It was not the same filmmakers, but anyways, good film. It was on Netflix. And yeah, it was just inspirational, and that like I gotta be out, I gotta be talking to people again. I don't want that social muscle to atrophy where I'm not talking to people a lot. I am a little more cautious now about COVID now that I've gotten it before. I'm like, well, I definitely don't want it again. And also part of, when I get rich is seeing like how can I use that money to help prevent COVID infections? How can I seriously, that's all I'm asking lately is what more do I need to do? How do I, how do I get LA and the world to be a more livable place? And seriously, like, what do I do to make COVID less of a threat, less of a problem for people? Yeah, there's obviously get medical options for people. Try and push for COVID pay at mandatory at all jobs, rent protections for people who can't afford rent because the layoffs or whatever the case, or they just got sick with COVID and can't work. But also just 79 grams of protein powder. I actually put 80 in. 11 grams of flaxseed. But how do we get it? The prevention of the infections. So yeah, education, masks. Gotta somewhat really like be educational, not hype people, not scare them. But not get this bland stuff that pundits and scientists on TV give, like, well, I don't touch the mask by the front, I touch it by the... Like, I doubt anyone's getting sick from touching the front of their mask. Come on. Like, so it makes it miserable for people to watch that stuff. You gotta make it personal, So it's like, yeah, how can you prevent COVID infections? Well, you can inform, you can show, what happens to people who get COVID. That is kind of getting into scaring them a little bit. I just make videos on my channel here talking about like, hey, it's cool to prevent disease. Like, it's cool. Like, don't think like, oh, I don't care. Man, that's the thing. I know people are like, oh, it's all good. COVID, I'm not worried about getting it. It's not great. You can't just show them a bunch of statistics, but you do have to show them like facts and data and get people to understand, look, you can help yourself, help others, minimal cost to you, and we can get a lot of better things in the world due to the changes we make with COVID, like tenant protections, like more transit options so that, yes, while you can get COVID around people on the bus and metro, you're less likely to if there's more buses and trains running and there's less people on each individual bus or train. And also just getting people to, respect themselves, respect their own bodies, feel good about themselves, care about their day-to-day health, their diet. I realize I'm probably more concerned about my diet than 99% of people, and I still worry about like, oh, why did I have that cheat meal and stuff? And most people be like, yeah, I don't care, I don't check my cholesterol ever, stuff like that. So, getting people to realize the benefits, like, I'm so much better off now, so much better on a meal plan, and I'm eating foods I like, and I can have cheat meals, even though I overdo them. And like the doctor said, my physical blood work, like everything's good. He said cholesterol was really good. So I'm like, that's the best news, because I didn't know like if the protein powders I have might make my cholesterol worse, or the frozen meals I eat. Now, at least I can be confident in knowing that that stuff's not going to throw it off, nor will occasional cheat meals like once a week. That doesn't mean there's other reasons to, good reasons not to have cheat meals too much, because there are, just for my own personal, like how I feel and just how I look. But anyways, it's a whole, effort, and has to do with, how do you want sort of society shaped and oriented. And it's like when you have lots of parts of life that are oriented around walking, biking and stuff. Well, that gets people healthier just right there with walking, biking, except when you got to walk and bike on polluted roads, on broken sidewalks where you can fall and get injured, on roads where bikes are not given protected areas and drivers crash into cyclists and injure and kill them, then you get into where those activities are not healthy. Or if it's not safe in your neighborhood, you're worried about, you know, being mugged, being robbed. That now fear is like wildly overplayed, but it does happen, and people do get hurt from it, and you know, it's terrible. So all that stuff. So my YouTube channel is one little place where you can just watch me do it. Like watch me here, eating healthy and enjoying what I eat. I'm not deprived because I'm eating steel cut oatmeal with protein powder and blueberries and walnuts. I enjoy it. And I feel great doing it. And it's nice to have the peace of mind to know that my health is working out. And so my mom sees all this about me. She knows I'm doing well. She knows I've never thrived like this before, even with all my challenges, even especially because of my challenges. Hey, Matt. And hey, Matt, I just had COVID. It sucked, but I'm better now. So yeah, don't get COVID. Be COVID safe. I was out for 2 weeks with COVID. That was, whew, man, that was a weird, unpleasant experience. Not the worst thing in the world. I didn't have a horrible case of it, but I was just saying I got a clean bill of health. Physical went well, EKG, urine analysis, all that stuff. They said all my numbers are good, except vitamin D is deficient, which is very common. So taking more of that, trying to get more sun. And white blood cell count was low. I don't know if that's because of COVID. It didn't sound like an emergency. They're going to retest in a few months. So I'm going to try and do things like sleep better, keep my stress down, experiment with different foods in my diet. This weekend I got some zucchini. I ate a big carrot. I ate some of it and I still have more of the carrot. Yeah, you had COVID too? That's the thing. When I tell people I had COVID, I just assume most people I know have had it too. Not fun. Matt, how long were you out when you had COVID? I'm drinking lots of like healthy teas, herbal teas. I'm drinking Korean Maxim coffee now. It's delicious. I cut out junk food except on my cheat meals. So it's great to have my healthcare managed, to have health insurance. And anyways, my mom does want to come here, working it out. I know I'm sort of having to teach her what I've learned, which is to build the daily discipline to know you can get what you want, you can be where you want, but you have to daily build your way to get there. So she wants to come to LA by July. Well, it's not going to happen because I think it's going to happen, which is what she normally does. Like, oh, I think I will, maybe. She's going to have to model herself after what I do, which is everyday consistent routine. She's very consistent at a lot of stuff, but then when it comes to traveling here, not so much. And it's a lot of it's out of her control. She's got property taxes, paying for a house in Greece, um, and she doesn't make a ton of money. Pandemic happened. You had about 8 days. Oh, that's not too bad. Well, I can't say where I work, but basically I'm like a film archivist. I work at a film company. I'm like a film librarian. But I was thinking back to when I was homeless, had my own schedule, was making videos, doing what I want, even though I couldn't afford to do much. I'm like, man, I used to live like that, just doing what I want, even though I was getting good discipline, and what I wanted just meant I was doing it on my schedule instead of my boss's schedule. I'm like, I want to do that again someday. But this time I'll be doing it with screenwriting and filmmaking. Because working at a corporation, there is something soul destroying about it. And that's just something, there are a lot of horrible things. I went through hell at my job for a lot of things I won't get into. I'm fine now. It's like, makes me all better in a way, but it definitely, like, you know, scarred me in some ways. I don't want to say scarred in that, like, oh, I'm forever downtrodden. It's like, no, it's just, I went through, yeah, hell. That's all I can say. And just keep going and make the best of it. And, recognize what's flawed about working with big corporations. And realize, okay, just use it, learn, try and make my workplace better, and then take this message out to the world and say, first of all, workers need unions. We need stay home pay from the government. Um, Worker owned workplaces. We need companies owned by the workers, all that kind of stuff. Quality health care for everyone that's not tied to your job, so people are terrified of losing their jobs. Yeah, not all unions are really protecting their workers well, definitely. Um, Matt says he's in a union, it's not as good as everyone thinks. Depends on the union. Oh, I've heard stuff too. It's like, yeah, where they definitely are not protecting their workers. That's why I say we need strong unions. I mean, historically, a lot of unions were like a lot of unions do great stuff, protect their workers, and fight for racial justice at work and all that. And I mention racial justice because historically, a lot of unions were there just to protect the white workers. That's it. So it was a way of just upholding racism. But a good union, man, you can have it made so well when you're paid well, got good protections, benefits. Job security. Even the screenwriters are going on strike now, um, trying to negotiate for better terms and stuff in their contracts. And part of that's done through the Writers Union. I'm like, I want to be in the Writers Guild, the Directors Guild, all kinds of guilds. But the channel's been growing lately. I'm pushing it. Breakfast is like the only time I can make videos a lot of days. And I want people to see it and like get the daily practice of like seeing what a healthy breakfast is like. It might be different portions for you and different ingredients as long as you're getting the right amount of proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. Because I eat according to my goals with my body, and to lose weight right now. Eventually, it'll be to gain weight in muscle. Um, and for my height, my age, my activity level. So it's going to be a little different for everyone. And then just experimenting with which foods does your body best respond to. And my mom, always says, oh, she's not sure she wants to live in LA. Yeah, that's because she hasn't seen how great it is here. Once she sees it, she'll love it. Once she sees that she can make a good living out here with whatever, probably just work for me. Make videos, and maybe she can work with animals out here. She loves animals. Let's see, what time is it? 5:43. I should finish up. I finished my steel cut oatmeal, now I'm just finishing my coffee. Still waiting on, whether we're going to get a new roommate here directly across the hall from me, and try and make sure they're cool, and I want to talk to them, let them know, what it's like living here, and see if they have questions, concerns, and feel them out. What do they like? Because here's the thing, you can't really change people. You can sort of guide them, show them, hey, respect me, I respect you, But if it's really a problem, then I just know, just freaking move. Or stay out of the apartment as much as possible. But if it's like, I'm not anticipating this, but if it's too much of a problem, now I at least know I have the money to move. I won't be able to save much if I move to a studio, but I can get my own place with a studio. Yeah, it'll cost about half my income a month. Instead of like now I pay it's like less than a third of my income. It's really, really good. So I'm able to save a lot. I've been spending too much, but now I'm getting better about that too. Don't have a car. That's fantastic. Finally cut my car insurance. I had it because I had non-operator insurance, meaning even though I'm not driving a car, I don't own a car, I have it for like liability, basically, in case I test drive a car or drive a friend's car or rent a car. Even with their insurance, I still want the extra liability. I was holding on to this non-operator insurance for a year in case I drove, and I realized I haven't driven a car in a year. I had no intention to. I had no intention to drive a car in the next year. I don't ever want to drive a car again. I love being car free, so just cut it. $480 a year saved. So trying to save on that and not spend so much money on junk food. Even think about like $6 a week on junk food. That adds up a lot. See if I can get free junk food somewhere, or just don't eat it. Like, don't eat snacks. Like, save my freaking money. Eat $10 a week, $40 a month. That's $480 a year, like my car insurance. So what the hell? I've easily spent thousands and thousands of dollars eating out and all that. So it's like, figure out how to save money and figure out how to earn more. Be accountable to myself. Because I looked at that, how much I spent last year on eating out, $4,000. I was like, when did I spend $4,000? I probably only went out to eat 3 times. Well, that's not true. So it adds up. And expensive lesson, but all right, lesson learned. I don't believe in feeling guilt over it. I mean, I do in a way because it's easy for me to feel guilt, but it's like that's not a helpful emotion. What's a helpful emotion? Resilience, insight. Well, insight's not an emotion. Neither is resilience. It's a quality, but just reflecting on being like, okay, instead of just regretting that, now think how much better I can do and celebrate that instead of just regretting how much I spent. And I can still eat well, I can still go out. And it's like, okay, if I want to go out, or if I want to de stress, why do I want to de stress? What am I de stressing from? And what should I do about it? Instead of just going out and eating a meal out to de stress, do things like, go to free events, go to the library, go to an urban garden, talk to a friend. I stopped going to movies out too. That I kind of miss, but it's like, well, it's what I prioritize now: saving money, and I'll watch movies indoors. And if I want to be sociable, be out, I'll go to a free event or just reserve it for a very special occasion. And right now, the writing is number one, followed by film coloring, editing. I'm upgrading all my film coloring and editing skills. And but writing is absolutely number one. That cannot change. I should wash my hands better with soap before I go and floss my teeth. I'm gonna have that floss all up in my mouth. It's on my fingers. And also, aside from writing, my health. It's like you don't have anything if you don't have your health. So keep that up. Don't be risky. Don't ride my bike in a risky manner. That's how I fell and slammed onto the ground onto my ribs a few months ago. Thank goodness recovered from that. But stuff like that, it's like, okay, Angelo, I got to be more cautious. And I learned much better bike riding techniques and stuff, and how to ride with one hand, because that was my problem. I was trying to turn and brake with one hand and go too fast. Now I know. I've practiced it, so I can just ride my bike with one hand, and it's not a problem. And I go slower. I'm sleeping better now that I don't have to get up to urinate 8 times a night. I do have to go right now, though, but I'm proud of myself. It's been like 2 hours since I went. All right, just wash my hands again. My room smells crusty and like, yeah, because I haven't opened the window all morning because it's kind of cold and but need fresh air. It's just that musty, like sweat is like soaking into the walls or something. Just not good. Not good. So I turn off the power strip to all my stuff here. The lights and everything, and a cell phone charger when I'm leaving the house or overnight, so I don't run up electricity. Just trying to do little things like that, save electricity. Also, I got to get moving here, but just to be more organized. And first of all, check out the art, very cool. The frog in the sun, the whale, little like, what do you call it, like a badge or something, I got from the Thien Hao temple, the Taoist temple, of somebody meditating, I guess, or a goddess meditating. But I put cable ties all along the cords here, so they're kind of like neatly arranged. See all the cords out of the way. Now I'm going to take my supplements. I read that zinc you can overdose on and can make you really sick. So I'm like, oh, I've been taking a lot lately. I should bring that down. So, magnesium. I don't know how long I'll take this entire regimen of supplements, but these coming out of COVID, I figure at least another week. Vitamin C. Odorless garlic. Selenium. Echinacea. All right, now I'm going to have the zinc, but I'll just bite into like a quarter of a tablet, which should be approximately like 13 milligrams, which is like just barely over what they recommend for adults. One of these tablets is 50 milligrams, so it's a bit much. And vitamin D, get the nature-made vitamin D. Doctor said I need 5. He wants me to take 5,000 IUs a day. That's 5 soft gels. And vitamin D, not as worried about overdosing on. What I've heard from different doctors is you need to take like outrageous amounts for months to overdose on vitamin D, as in like 100,000 IUs a day for several months. This is 5,000 a day, 95,000 IUs short. How the hell would I swallow 100 soft gels a day? How do you even do that? What do you do? Just drink it? All right, everyone. It's running close to the time I should leave. I'm going to get going, maybe put on some PBS Space Time to enrich my mind about the universe and get my mind off my job. The work itself is fine. I just went through a lot there, but I'm doing well. So anyways, thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.